So this video is, I'm going to be honest, a bit negative, and maybe seen as not professional because I've never really posted anything negative, and it's not about the client at all, but it does involve this car, and I'm going to kind of just tell you why I suppose it is a bit negative. So we had this car dropped off a couple of days ago, and I instantly pulled it into the studio, just made sure it weren't outside. Car park secure, cameras everywhere, but I just pulled it inside just because it just makes more sense. It means I can keep an eye on it, and know that it's the next job in line. However, what we found the next day is when I'd washed and prepped the car, which took sort of 2.5, 3 hours, we found quite a big scratch on the door, which I'll put into the video now. It's only a very quick clip. I didn't video it long enough, if I'm honest. But what you'll see on here is the mark. And what you'll see is when I spray it with water, it instantly disappears. Now, it was a deep scratch. It hid quite well, but actually it was deep. And truthfully, it's definitely through the clear coat. The problem we had is we spoke with the client, and the client had only just washed the car kind of a day or two before, and he'd not seen any marks. When we initially viewed the car for the quote, we didn't see any marks. Not there anyway, there was marks, but we didn't see that. And being totally honest, it was fresh. It was quite a new scratch. Now, the issue is, and this is nothing against the client because this is actually the 4th car he's brought to me, and he's a very genuine guy, he really is, but it's his pride and joy. And the reason why people come to us is because they bring the pride and joys, and they want to bring it to someone like myself with plenty of experience with high-end cars, own the same sort of cars, so we're not using them and abusing them. We just work, we're working on them to the level that I would work on if it was actually my own car, and I'd treat it with the same respect and the same sort of level of work. The problem is he hadn't seen the mark, and I can totally see it, and I did see it from his point of view, where why didn't we see the mark when he dropped it off? Why didn't I ring him straight away? It wasn't there before. And I get all that. I really do get all that. And that's exactly how I saw it when I rung him. However, there's cameras every bit of this building, and there's cameras every bit outside, even including up and down the street, so I can see everything. And nobody's been near that car but me, and nothing has been near the car. So we know it's not been done here. The other side of that is, and you can probably sound a bit kind of negative and a bit depressed on this because I do take things personally. If I'd have scratched that car, not only would I have owned up to it, but I wouldn't have fixed the issue without speaking to the client first, letting them know, and then offering to fix it, because I don't think that's fair. That if you have marked something, touch wood, I haven't in 20 years, but it happens. I think you should be honest. The other side of that is you don't know if that mark actually was there, and you try and fix it to hide that you might have done something, and then the client realizes that you've fixed something and there were a scratch there, and you've not been honest about it, and that will not get you a client to come back. There is no loyalty when there's no honesty. So me informing the client of that mark then became a bit of an issue because he wasn't there when he dropped it off in his eyes, and I get that. And then the issue is we've caused it, where's it come from? And actually my car is scratched and I'm really not happy about it. Now, when we've looked round the car, we found quite a few scratches, but that was the worst. And on this occasion, I have fixed it, and I fixed it for free, and that's what you'll see. Again, I'll put it back in the video. But what you'll see is I've wet sanded that car and I've fixed that scratch. The problem on the business side of things is reality is that should be 100 quid of work because of the time and effort goes into it and the risk of damaging a car. Because I know anybody who says they're a detailer can wet sanding right and making sure that you can't see those scratch marks in your car and the etching is a much harder job. And truthfully, there ain't many detailers out there that can wet sand because they can't use rotary and they can't fix the issues back in a proper way. And that's the truth. And this is coming from me, who's been detailing for over 25 years and has a training academy. And I'm not just saying it because I think I know what I'm doing. It's from experience. So we fixed the issue anyway. And the customer's happy with no issues at all. We still get on and he appreciates what we've done. But the problem you get, and nobody ever sees this side of things sometimes, that wasn't on us. And I know we've had to do more work and I'm not even bothered about that. But the feeling of contacting a client to tell them there's a scratch on the car, which is your job, and it's what I do for a living, but then kind of being told that you've done it is pretty disheartening because it's not who I am. And everybody knows that. And even this client, he actually spoke afterwards and he says, I know that's not that. The reason I come to you is because I know you're not that sort of guy. You wouldn't lie anyway. But obviously, he's going to be annoyed. He is going to be upset. And he is going to be a little bit fed up that there is a mark on that car. And I totally get it. But it doesn't take away the fact that you feel responsible or fed up that that's happened. And it doesn't, it does affect you. And truthfully, if that doesn't affect someone, if in a similar situation or another business, if that didn't affect you, then you're in the wrong trade and you're not passionate about what you do. So to go home and have that over your head isn't great. And I know this is a long-winded blog, and again, probably a video that I've never done before and I shouldn't have to do, but I just feel sometimes people don't see the other side of this sort of job and being an absolute perfectionist with things. Now, you're going to say, why didn't you view the car when it got dropped off? Why didn't you view the car straight away? Why didn't you do a report on the car? Well, this is why. We have software that lets us do these reports, and we do these reports on most jobs. The problem is you can't see these marks until a car is perfectly clean on certain colours. This is one of those colours. And also, by doing a report on a car that you haven't cleaned yet means you are going to find more issues once the car's cleaned, dried and put on a ramp, which is why you don't do the report, or I don't do the report, until the car is actually in here with me. And that proves it on that video that you've just seen, where the tiniest bit of water hid that mark, which meant any dirt, water, grime, or anything that's been on this car would have hidden any major defects until I've cleaned that car to the level I clean cars to, and then air dried them, because you are going to hide those defects. So this is when we do the reports, and this is when we feed back information to clients and let them know what has been done, when it has been done, and so off. And anyway, that's the end of that. We don't need to go into it anymore. Hopefully I'll never have to bring another video up like this. It is on my head. I do feel I needed to kind of maybe let it out and just kind of go through it. And I'm sure there is people out there that will kind of understand and associate with what I've just said. Now, the thing I suppose to take from what I'm talking about on the video here is, if you bring your car to Inspired, we're just extremely clear about everything and there's nothing hidden. And that's the same when it comes to the work. So you see the work being carried out, and I do not hide any of the work that we've done. I don't hide any of the issues, and I don't hide anything about have we got the right angles, have we got the right corners, can I hide this image, can I make it look better on a certain photograph or a certain video angle. We don't do any of that. And that's the same when it comes to workload. So when we do a report on your car and we give you some feedback or we send you a video of your car, it's all genuine. But we're here to help. We're here to get it right, and we'll fix as much as we can in every way possible, like this was my own car. Anyway, boring video. Let's get some good videos out. Let's get some footage of this up once it's done because it's looking epic. And let's build a much kind of happier new video, I suppose. See you in a bit.